You're not stuck because life is hard. You're stuck because your mind is weak. Read that again. Every day you wake up, scroll, react, complain, delay. You say you want more, but your actions say something else. You feel behind. You feel distracted. You feel like you're capable of more, but you're not proving it. That tension, that frustration, that quiet voice saying, this isn't the life I'm meant for, it's real. And it's your signal, because the truth is, nothing changes until you change. Not your job, not your situation, not your luck, your thinking. There's a pattern controlling your results, a system running in the background of your mind. And once you see it, you can rewrite everything. Let's start with the foundation. Your mind is a garden. What you plant today determines what grows tomorrow. Imagine waking up to a garden. Not just any garden, your garden. The soil is rich, the sun is warm, and the space is entirely yours to shape. But here's the catch. You don't get to blame the weather, the seeds, or the season for what grows. Because this isn't just any garden, it's your mind. Every thought you entertain is a seed. Every belief you nurture is a root. And every action you take, that's the water that makes it all grow. The problem is most people don't treat their minds like gardens. They treat them like dumping grounds. They let weeds, doubt, fear, excuses sprout wild because they never bothered to pull them. They let negative self-talk choke out ambition because they never planted anything stronger. What you feed thrives. What you ignore dies. Think about the last time you told yourself, I'm not good enough. That wasn't just a passing thought, that was a seed. And if you repeated it, you watered it. Now it's a belief that shapes your choices, your confidence, even the opportunities you don't take, because somewhere inside you've already decided you'll fail. But here's the power. You get to choose the seeds. Want courage? Plant it. Want resilience? Nurture it. Want success? Stop waiting for it to magically appear and start cultivating the habits, the mindset, the daily discipline that makes it inevitable. The greatest leaders, artists, and innovators didn't have better soil. They just tended their gardens with obsession. They pulled the weeds of doubt before they could take root. They fertilized their minds with knowledge, with faith, with relentless action. And when storms came, and they always come, their roots were deep enough to hold firm. Your mind isn't just like a garden, it is one. And right now, today, you're holding the shovel. The question is, what are you planting? Positivity isn't the absence of problems. It's the refusal to let them define you. Let's get something straight. Positivity isn't denial. It's not about slapping a smile on your face and pretending everything's perfect when the world's on fire. That's not strength, that's delusion. Real positivity? That's the quiet, unshakable force that looks disaster in the eye and says, you don't get to decide how my story ends. Problems will come. That's not a warning, that's a guarantee. Life doesn't care about your plans, your comfort, or your timeline. The difference between those who thrive and those who crumble isn't the absence of hardship, it's the response to it. Think about the last time something went wrong. Maybe it was a rejection, a failure, a betrayal. What did you do? Did you let it shrink you? Did you let it rewrite your identity? I'm a failure. I'm unlucky. This always happens to me. Or did you look at it and say, this hurts, but it doesn't own me? Positivity is the art of refusing to be defined by what happens to you. It's the single mom working 2 jobs who still tucks her kids in with a bedtime story. It's the entrepreneur whose third business failed, yet shows up again because quitting isn't in her code. It's the student who bombs the test but spends the weekend studying instead of sulking. They're not ignoring the problem, they're owning the solution. Here's the truth. Your problems don't make you weak. They reveal what you're made of. And if you're waiting for a life without struggles to finally be happy, you'll be waiting forever. The real power isn't in avoiding the storm. It's in learning to dance in the rain. It's in looking at the wreckage and saying, this isn't the end. This is the setup for something greater. It's in understanding that every setback is a lesson, every obstacle is a test, and every test is a chance to prove to yourself who you really are. So the next time life hits hard, and it will, ask yourself, will this break me or will it build me? Because the choice isn't whether you'll face problems, it's whether you'll let them define you or whether you'll define them. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. No shortcuts, no excuses. Picture your biggest goal. Not the vague someday dream, the one that keeps you up at night, the one that makes your pulse quicken when you let yourself truly imagine it. Now ask yourself, what's the one thing standing between you and that reality? It's not luck. It's not talent. It's not even resources. It's the daily discipline to do what must be done even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is the invisible force that turns I wish into I will and I will into I did. It's the 5 a.m. alarm when your bed is warm. It's the extra rep when your muscles burn. It's the late night study session when your friends are out. It's the phone call you don't want to make, the conversation you'd rather avoid, the habit you'd prefer to skip, except you don't, because you've decided who you are is more important than how you feel in the moment. Most people wait for motivation to strike like lightning. They think success is about some grand emotional surge of inspiration that carries them to the finish line. But real winners, they know motivation is a liar. It fades. It wavers. It abandons you when things get hard. Discipline doesn't. Discipline is the difference between the writer who talks about their book and the one who writes 500 words every single day, no matter what. It's the difference between the athlete who dreams of gold and the one who trains when no one's watching. It's the difference between the entrepreneur with a business plan and the one who makes the calls, sends the emails, and closes the deals, even on the days it feels pointless. Here's the hard truth. You already know what you need to do. You don't need more information. You don't need another seminar, another book, another pep talk. You need the guts to execute. To show up day after day and build the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, one disciplined step at a time. The world responds to energy. Radiate confidence and opportunities will gravitate toward you. Energy is invisible, but its effects are undeniable. Walk into a room and within seconds you can feel it, the tension, the excitement, the heaviness, the light. You don't need words to sense it. You don't need explanations. Energy speaks before you do. And here's the secret. The energy you emit is the energy you attract. Think about the people who seem to have luck on their side. The ones who get the promotions, the connections, the breaks. Are they just fortunate? Or do they carry something different, a quiet certainty, an unshakable belief in their own worth? Confidence isn't arrogance. It's not about being the loudest in the room. It's the deep, unspoken knowing that you belong where you are and you're capable of where you're going. The world doesn't reward the timid. It rewards the bold. Not because boldness guarantees success, but because boldness signals readiness. When you stand tall, speak clearly, and move with purpose, people notice. Doors open. Conversations shift. Opportunities appear, not because the universe is magically aligning in your favor, but because confidence is a magnet. Ever met someone who, despite having no title or wealth, commands respect the moment they walk in? That's energy. Ever seen someone with all the credentials still get overlooked? That's energy, too. Skills get you in the room, but energy gets you the seat at the table. Here's the catch. You can't fake it. True confidence isn't a mask, it's a muscle. It's built in the quiet moments when you choose to trust yourself. When you show up, even when you're scared. When you speak up, even when your voice shakes. When you own your worth, not because you're perfect, but because you're willing to grow. The world is a mirror. Radiate doubt and you'll see hesitation reflected back. Radiate fear and you'll attract reasons to be afraid. Radiate confidence and watch how the world rises to meet you. Every no is a redirection. Every failure is feedback. Life's rejections aren't dead ends. They're detours with better scenery. That no from the job, the relationship, the opportunity. It's not a verdict, it's data. A signpost pointing toward what's actually meant for you. The greatest successes were born from redirection. J.K. Rowling's 12 publisher rejections, Steve Jobs firing from Apple, even the Wright brothers crashed prototypes. What if their failures were just the universe's way of saying, not this way, this way? Your setbacks aren't stopping you, they're steering you. The question isn't why it happened, it's what's next. You don't rise to the level of your talent. You fall to the level of your habits. Talent is the spark, but habits are the fire. Ever met someone brilliantly gifted yet stuck? Or someone with average skills who outworks everyone? That's the power of systems over luck. Your habits aren't just actions, they're the architecture of your life. Skip the gym once, no problem. Skip it for a month and suddenly you're someone who doesn't go. Hit snooze today and tomorrow your discipline weakens. Excellence isn't an act, it's a ritual. The artist who paints daily, the CEO who reads voraciously, the athlete who trains when no one watches, they didn't wait for inspiration. They built habits so strong that falling below their standards became impossible. What's your non-negotiable? The only thing standing between you and success is the story you keep telling yourself. Your mind is a master storyteller, except it often gets the plot wrong. I'm not smart enough. I don't have the right connections. I've tried before and failed. These aren't facts. They're scripts you've rehearsed until they feel true. The problem? Your brain believes what you tell it, even when it's a lie. Success isn't about changing your circumstances. It's about rewriting your narrative. The athlete who wins gold isn't the one without fear. She's the one who tells herself, I can handle this. The entrepreneur who builds an empire isn't the one without doubt. He's the one who says, I'll figure it out. Your story isn't set in stone, it's a draft. So edit it. Act as if it's impossible to fail and soon it will be. Confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's the refusal to let fear dictate your moves. The most unstoppable people don't wait for certainty. They move as if success is inevitable. Think of the inventor who mortgaged his house for a prototype, the artist who painted for years before recognition, the leader who stood alone before the crowd followed. They didn't eliminate risk. They outgrew the need for guarantees. When you act from a place of this will work because I'll make it work, the universe conspires to prove you right. Doubt asks, what if I fail? Faith asks, what if I don't? Which question are you living by? Focus on growth daily. Focus on growth daily. Progress is built through small intentional improvements. Each day offers a chance to learn, refine skills, and elevate standards. Consistent learning sharpens awareness and expands capability. When growth becomes a habit, your mindset evolves, your actions improve, and your direction becomes clearer. Never lower your standards. Never lower your standards. Your standards define the level of life you accept. When you set them high, your actions rise to meet them. Strong standards create discipline, shape identity, and guide decisions. They push you to demand more from yourself, protect your focus, and maintain quality in every area of your life. This was never about motivation. It was about control. Control of your thoughts, control of your actions, control of your standards. Every idea you heard connects to one truth. Your life is a reflection of what you repeatedly do, not what you say, not what you wish, what you consistently practice. Right now, there are two versions of you. The one who stays comfortable, repeats the same habits, lives the same year over and over again, and the one who steps up, takes responsibility, builds discipline, grows daily, acts despite fear. Both are real, but only one becomes your future. The gap between where you are and where you could be is built in your daily decisions. So the question is simple. Which version are you feeding today?